Hey, welcome back. My name is Meng, and today I'm going to do a follow-up of my previous video of my Pajntaub art decor, and I'm going to discuss how I came up with the idea, what inspired me, and why I chose the design direction. If you want to see how I made my Pajntaub art decor, click on the link on the upper right hand corner, or see the link in the video description. So a year ago I had this design in my head, and I wanted to embrace my heritage, reflect our culture, and really put a twist on traditional Pajntaub, but still embody the ethos of our Hmong people. For those who aren't familiar with Pajntaub, it's actually a Hmong term that's also known as flower cloth. These were designed to also make traditional Hmong clothes and blankets. And sewing Pajntaub back in the day was actually one of the ways to make an honest living. I did think about creating some of these designs on my own. I could have did that, but I don't think it would have held as much value or symbolism if I would have done it that way. And I'm trying to think outside the box and how, not how this would benefit me, but really prove to serve like being part of my family, me being a part of this history. And so, you know, the question really came on, why do I really want to design it? Or why did I even choose to design it this way? And so with that being said, I was really inspired by my grandma's handmade Pajntaub design, so I wanted to implement that on my design. But one of my relatives had my grandma's original handmade traditional Hmong clothes in suitcases in the basement for safekeeping. And so I got to take a step back in time and a glimpse of some of the original outfits that she made. And as my uncle and I were going through them, he asked me the question. He's like, Ming, why do you need grandma's Pajntaub for it? And so I was like, I had this really cool idea of making signs out of it. Maybe I can inspire some of my designs using some of her Pajntaubs and garments that she designed. And so I really want to tell this story about how I came up with the design. And part of it is of her. And so he's like, hey, it's your own, so make it your own. Um, I remember this was one of the last conversations I had with him, and I'll remember this for the rest of my life. And he was really taken on by this, so he really wanted to see the outcome of it. And and now that I've finished it, I really wish he was here to see it. So at the time when we were browsing, obviously I took a lot of photos. Um, you know, I went through a lot of the different garments. I really wanted to stick with a similar pattern. So the designs weren't too far off. So they were actually cohesive to each other. So after I got done doing that, I took those pictures, uploaded onto my computer, and I started tinkering with Adobe Illustrator, and I put it in, made vector objects, and placed them in such a way that it actually reflects some of the garments and Pajntaub that she designed. So I was able to come up with a few designs of my own, again inspired by her. I remember the countless hours that she put in and the late nights working on her projects. And I remember just coming into her, seeing how she was doing. She'll have her sewing machine right in front of you in her bedroom. She'll have her materials on the table, her accessories, everything, all taken up. There was no counter space whatsoever, and there were some materials on the floor, which were some of her beads and glitter that she had, just waiting to be unpackaged for her next project. And I remember she had this old little glue gun that was those. It was an old blue one that was those push style glue guns that she had, and she had that for a very long time before she upgraded to the thicker ones. It was just this one was the smaller nozzle one, but yeah, she cranked those out like they were nothing. And I remember her taking the geometry of the glitter and set it up in such a way where they were a diamond shape, and then in the center, she would layer the beads on center within her glitter, and then she would sew that up, and then she would hot glue it. I mean, yeah, I remember her spending so many hours and late nights working on it. It's just crazy to think that here I am using her design to recreate this story. And so some bundle are sewn with a sewing machine or using different techniques of like hand sewing. Sometimes there's a backing that's sort of a grid pattern that's cross-hatched. And so I wanted to stay true with my grandma's design. She had a grid and cross-hatch design. And so I wanted to layer the stitching or the pockets like in the grid. And so I wanted to CNC wood and mill the individual pockets, were then used to add in the inserts. And so I designed the pockets and to look sort of like a cross-hatch stitching. So I originally wanted to infill the cavities with resin. So after doing some tests, it actually was working against me because I would have to wait overnight or a couple of days to do every single layer. Considering this design calls for 6 colors, so then I would wait overnight for the resin to cure. And also if there's an error on my end, then I would have to start brand new. And that would be a total waste of time, totally a waste of effort. Considering one of the boards, it'll take mostly 8 to 10 hours to mill or CNC a board. And so if I do mix the colors or mix it wrong, overfill them in such a way where the color mixes, then again the board is wasted. And so let's say if I do get it right, if I do infill the resin correctly, I have to face mill the top flat in order to get that clean look. I was also considering moisture too, so even every time you cut the wood or face mill it, you introduce the wood to absorb more moisture. And so I didn't want that to affect the wood because it's going to warp. I made sure to take precautions, and so this is why I came up with 3D printing the inserts instead of injecting the resin. And so in this case, I can, even if I mess up, I can remove the inserts and then start over. And so that would reduce risk and reduce me, having to start over again. I can just pluck the inserts and put a new one back in, vice versa. 3D printing the inserts, it does take a little bit of effort to prep them and post-process to get them ready, but I mean, in the end, it's all worth it. After you get done 3D printing the part, you remove the plate and then you rinse the parts in alcohol, and then either you soak them, you dip them, or you brush them off, and then you make sure they're dry, and then after they're dry, you need to cure them under UV or under sunlight for a short amount of time. And then after you're done, you get your complete part. Then I'm ready to place the inserts on the board. Once I got started, I actually started using tweezers to place the inserts in such a way where it's seated properly and it's press fit. And so before I didn't have tweezers, so I would just manually push them in with my fingers, and I can still feel it now. The pressure in my thumb and the pressure in my palm is actually still a little bit sensitive, but now I got it in such a way where I'm able to do it efficiently and not hurt myself. So overall, I wanted to instill this frame as an extension of myself and my heritage, of my grandparents, my parents' sacrifices, the life of our people, our history, and the symbolism of our way. I really wanted to keep this tradition alive, and I didn't want to leave it zipped up in a huge leather suitcase in a closet, collecting dust in the basement, But I wanted to appreciate our roots and to show the symbol of our way. And so instead of keeping this part locked up in a suitcase, I want to embrace it. This becomes a very personal item to me. It'll be very personalized to you and your family, and no one else would have it. With that being said, give me a thumbs up if you liked it, give me a thumbs down if you didn't. Make sure you comment below on how I could have made it better, or give me some thoughts of your own. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you can get the latest content. And so this is my design, and this is our family crest. Thank you. See ya.